Chapter 11: The Payoff, Prosperity, Cohesion, and the New Social Contract. 1. The test in the numbers. 2 years after Learn Canada's launch, the federal analysts ran their first audit. The results stunned even the optimists. National productivity up 3.4%. Unemployment at a historic low. Wage growth fastest in rural and Indigenous communities. Volunteerism, voter turnout, and small business formation all rising in tandem. For the first time in a generation, economic indicators and social indicators pointed in the same direction. The conclusion was impossible to miss: when a country educates everyone, everyone wins. 2. The economic payoff, compounding curiosity. Economists call education a multiplier. Each dollar invested generates several more across sectors. But the Learn Canada model showed something deeper: compounding curiosity. Productivity: better trained workers innovate faster, make fewer errors, and adapt to automation. Entrepreneurship: new business registrations jumped 20% after microcredential programs in digital marketing and green tech went public. Innovation pipeline: patent filings linked to open course alumni doubled. Tax revenue: the federal budget posted an unexpected $12 billion gain from increased economic activity. Education had become the quiet engine of a balanced economy, growth without exploitation. 3. The social payoff, cohesion through capability. Economic success alone can't glue a country together. What did was the feeling of shared advancement. Surveys revealed a striking shift. Citizens who took even one course on the platform were 25% more likely to trust government institutions and 40% more likely to engage in community projects. Learning created empathy, empathy created cooperation. When people understand the systems they live within, resentment fades. The us versus them mentality dissolves into we're all learning together. 4. The civic dividend. Civic literacy rose sharply thanks to accessible courses on Canadian history, constitutional rights, and critical thinking. Misinformation spread slower online because fact-checking became a social reflex, not a partisan act. Municipalities adopted learning weekends, carrying local policy debates with free education sessions. The result: better turnout, calmer discourse, fewer polarized councils. The civic dividend is measurable peace of mind, democracy with homework done. 5. The health dividend. Health economists confirmed what educators had long suspected: learning keeps people alive. Adults who engaged in continuous education reported lower stress levels, higher physical activity, and reduced healthcare costs. Cognitive aging studies found that seniors enrolled in digital courses delayed memory decline by 5 to 7 years on average. Hospitals began prescribing learning as prevention. The old dichotomy between mind and body finally healed. 6. The gender dividend. Women historically carry the unpaid weight of society. With free digital access, re-entry into the labor market became fluid, flexible upskilling between caregiving duties. In the first 5 years, female participation in tech and trades training tripled. The gender wage gap narrowed to its smallest margin on record. Education didn't just empower, it equalized. 7. The Indigenous dividend. In partnership with Indigenous governments, Learn Canada hosted over 200 language and land-based learning modules. Enrollment exceeded expectations, and fluent speakers began teaching through the same network. For many communities, education was no longer an instrument of assimilation but a tool of self-definition. Cultural preservation and national progress moved in harmony, the first real step toward reconciliation that felt lived, not legislated. 8. The regional dividend. Atlantic provinces used the platform to retrain workers from declining fisheries into renewable energy and aquaculture industries. Prairie provinces built agricultural tech courses that doubled crop management efficiency. Northern territories developed Arctic engineering modules now exported to Scandinavia. Every region found its advantage in knowledge, not extraction. For the first time, Canada's prosperity map glowed evenly from coast to coast to coast. 9. The business dividend. Private companies discovered that a literate, confident population expands markets. Employee training costs dropped, innovation partnerships rose. Firms contributing to the Knowledge Offset program earned reputational dividends, consumers trusted brands that taught them something. Even competition softened, collaboration became currency. 10. The environmental dividend. Education turned climate policy into citizen practice. Open courses on sustainability, energy efficiency, and indigenous land management helped households cut emissions by 15% nationwide. Children taught parents, communities monitored local ecosystems through crowdscience modules. Learning became the missing feedback loop in environmental stewardship, the point where awareness meets action. 11. The generational dividend. For decades, Canada faced a widening generational divide, young people burdened by debt and elders feeling obsolete. Learn Canada bridged that gap. Intergenerational mentorship programs paired retirees with students to exchange expertise for digital help. Grandparents became teachers again, youth became guides. In a world obsessed with speed, education restored continuity. 12. The diplomatic dividend. As global tensions rose, Canada's open education network became a beacon. Dozens of countries joined knowledge-sharing partnerships. By 2035, Learn Canada hosted 100 million foreign learners in English, French, and Indigenous language courses. Without firing a shot or signing a trade war, Canada had exported peace through pedagogy. 13. The psychological payoff. Perhaps the most surprising outcome came from mental health surveys. Rates of loneliness, anxiety, and alienation fell steadily among active learners. Psychologists linked this to the agency effect, the sense that one's actions can shape the future. When people feel capable, despair loses market share. The national mood lifted. 14. The new social contract. Every era has a defining promise between state and citizen. The industrial age promised wages for labor. The welfare age promised safety nets for hardship. The digital age, through Learn Canada, promised knowledge for contribution. In this contract, citizenship means curiosity, taxes by not just security but opportunity, equality measures not how much wealth one holds but how easily one can learn. The Learning Nation reframed freedom itself, not freedom from obligation but freedom to understand. 15. A closing argument, the compound interest of justice. Standing in Parliament, the Prime Minister summarized it best. We found the one investment that pays moral and monetary dividends at once. Every hour a Canadian spends learning adds to our GDP, our democracy, and our decency. The applause that followed wasn't partisan, it was proud. Because behind every statistic stood a human story, a grandmother coding again, a miner retraining for clean tech, a newcomer mastering both English and empathy. That's the true payoff of a learning nation. Not just prosperity but cohesion, a country bound not by borders, but by a shared pursuit of understanding. End of Chapter 11. The payoff, prosperity, cohesion, and the new social contract. Chapter 12. From policy to legacy, safeguarding the learning nation for future generations.